Welcome to another 5-pound dinner challenge. Today, we're making cottage pie. Very simple and it easily feeds a family of 4. Now, first things first, we prepare our no butter mash. We peel our potatoes, but we save the skin to make a stock. And this is what we're gonna use to dilute and make the mash. And the stock is what's gonna help us make a fluffy mash without the need for butter and cream. For faster cooking, we'll cut them into smaller chunks. Now, just cover this with water, lid on, and we cook until they are soft. And for the skin, we are just gonna add them to another pan, another pot, add some salt and some water. And we bring this to a simmer, and this would be our potato broth. Now, we prep some carrots. With the cottage pie, I like to add my carrots in 2 stages. We'll mince about 2 of them, and they will become the aromatic vegetable for the beef mince. And at the very end, we'll blanch some diced carrots for texture and flavor. The rest, we'll make glazed carrots. Peel some carrots. Now, we grate some carrots. This is our only aromatic vegetable, so I'll be quite generous. At least 2 big ones for 500 grams of beef. That looks like a lot, but once we evaporate the water content, they're gonna shrink down dramatically. Now, we dice one. We'll blanch this one for 5 minutes and add it at the very end. Hot pan, bit of olive oil, and minced carrots, they go in. Season with salt and pepper. What we're doing now is that we're evaporating the water content of the carrots to concentrate the flavors, the sweetness, and there's a lot of water. So this will probably shrink in at least half. Today we're using just carrots because of the budget, but it's the same principle for onions, for celery. I'm adjusting the heat so that the sugar content does not burn before the water content is fully evaporated. Once you see the steam is disappearing, that's when we add the beef mince. And we break it apart. So, just like the carrots, first, the beef is going to release the liquid. And once the liquid is fully evaporated, then we're gonna start browning. Maillard reaction, protein reacting to high heat. That's what's gonna make our beef taste beefy and meaty. And once again, of course, we season the beef with salt. This will also help them release the liquids faster. And black pepper again. As you can hear, the boiling sound has disappeared. And now the beef is frying in its own fat. And that's the Maillard reaction we talked about. So we cook them until they're well browned. Because of the limited ingredients, we want to build as much flavor as possible before we add the water. We have extremely good browning. We add some water. You bring it back to a boil, and we leave it to simmer at low heat until the meat has completely softened. So about 45 minutes to an hour. We'll take this opportunity to skim off some of the excess beef fat. Because once it's cooked down, it's very hard to isolate the fat. While that's cooking, let's glaze some carrots. Carrots, even cheap carrots, has so much sugar. For me, it's crazy when recipes ask you to add brown sugar to glazed carrots. You don't need to. You just need to extract the sugar from the carrots to glaze themselves. That's plenty of carrots. We season with some salt, black pepper, and normally I would add a knob of butter, but we have something better. We have the beef fat infused with carrots. So that goes in, lid on, and this cooks at medium-low heat for about 30-40 minutes while we wait for everything else. If you need longer, just keep lowering the heat. While everything is cooking, check on the potatoes. Check it with a fork, see the level of resistance, that's good to go. To make the mash, we first drain off the liquid and we break it apart with just the back of a fork. Remember the potato broth we made from the potato skin. We slowly add them to our mash. And you mix until you feel there's no resistance. For pie, this is already good to go. But if you want to go the extra mile, we'll use the hand mixer. We start slow. And that's it. Now we have beautiful fluffy mash, and we set this aside to keep warm. All right, after about an hour, we have our pie mince ready. I've given it about 10 minutes to just cool down slightly. Now, we add this to our pie dish. Now, we have our no butter fluffy mince. If it's sticking, just dip it in water or shape it however you like. Now, this goes into a preheated oven at 180 for about 15 to 20 minutes. Just enough time for the top to brown. Because remember, everything here is cooked and ready to eat. Now, our glazed carrots. As you can see, they're perfectly cooked. The residual liquid has a lot of natural sugar. So, what we're gonna do is we glaze it. About medium-high heat, because you don't want it to burn. As you can see, the bottom, they almost look a bit like caramel. And you cook and glaze until the liquid is mostly evaporated. We have our beef fat glazed carrots. Don't let anyone tell you need to add brown sugar to this. Never. We have our mixed salad. I mean, if I bought them individually, I'll probably get a better yield, but sometimes it's nice to have variety. Normally, I would drizzle some olive oil, but again, remember the beef fat we had? After 20 minutes, we check on our pie. Beautiful. And that's dinner for four for under £5. This is cottage pie with beef fat glazed carrots and beef fat mixed salad. I really hope you enjoy.